Good evening, London News. I'm crossing over to Sydney to talk to Bruce and his wife, who lost her license for absolutely nothing. Anyways, Michelle, can you tell us how this occurred and why and what steps you took? The longest ones possible, I suppose, but what's actually happening and how did it happen?
So it started in August 2021 when we went to a public protest, but the police have called it a public gathering and outside of area. So they hit me with a $3,000 fine. So that one has taken a long time to come through the system to go to court. And each time it went to court, I was unable to attend due to being unwell, which I did email ahead of time. And then there was another one which is attached to this one, but it's a separate issue. And that was going to a pre-booked orthodontal appointment with my stepdaughter. So these are 6-week in advance pre-booked appointments. Now, because I wouldn't disclose my medical status, as in I wouldn't show them a mask exemption letter from my doctor because they're not my doctor.
And they're not the police.
They called the police on me because I said I would wait in the waiting room while she had her appointment. But that wasn't good enough. They wanted me to wait in the car park, but she was a child. So I was happy for her to go into the rooms, but I wasn't going to leave the practice while they performed treatment on her. Mm. So they called the police on me and they told me, so at that point, they said the police are on their way, but they're stuck in traffic. Now, this is going to make you laugh because the police turned up 11.5 weeks later to the house.
It must have been a rather large traffic.
That's right.
And so the charge was the 1904 on in property trespass and not wearing a mask.
So they slammed 2 charges on me. One was the trespass, like Bruce just said, and the other was remain on enclosure. Oh no, sorry, that was not having a face covering. Not having a face covering without, what was the word? Without good reason. But I wasn't there for them to ask me that.
Well, that's strange. What I find rather amazing, because if people lose their license in relation to a traffic offence, it kind of says, well, you know, that's what they're doing, whether it's right or wrong, that's another story. But they actually, because you didn't pay that for what was the fine? How much was it?
Well, again, this was another court case where I wasn't able to attend due to personal reasons. But again, I informed them ahead of time, asking for it to be adjourned. They had adjourned them previously, and if I requested more time, you know, to recover because I had been sick, then I was to let the courts know. So I had, but this magistrate at the time wouldn't accept it because I didn't have a doctor's certificate. However, on their court site, it doesn't say you have to produce a doctor's certificate. It says proof of being unwell. Well, my proof was me telling them that I was unwell via email. So right. I did.
What was the fine? And that you so obviously didn't pay it, yeah.
Well, they added on. Well, so what they done was they wouldn't adjourn it, so they heard the matter without me present, and then I've had extra costs added on. So now this $3,500 fine is now $4,235, and because I won't pay it, however, I have asked them to go back to court to reschedule, is what I've put in all those emails where I couldn't attend previously, which they won't, and citing the hearing rule to go back because of it being not being fair to have that hearing heard without me present. And no, they've totally ignored it and has just pushed for have pushed for transport to suspend my driver's license.
This is amazing because people get their license suspended here in Melbourne because of traffic, but this would be a new phase if and they'll do it here as well. So in Sydney, this is not a traffic thing. It started off with a mask and silly stuff like that. And they actually suspended your license. So in order to get your license back, what do they want you to do? If you pay that fine, will you get your license back?
Correct. However, they've given me a time period of 6 months. Also, it says in the letter that if I have other fines on top, that they can also, it says about beware of heavy penalties, including a jail sentence, and a lengthy period of disqualification will apply if I'm convicted of drive after license suspended.
My God, that would be the first I've heard of that. And that's rather disturbing. See, you guys up there in New South Wales, your license is on your phone, and they're actually introducing that here in Bendigo. One little suburb that had, well, Bendigo is a big place, but they're doing it up there first, and then they're going to do it everywhere. So your license, all you guys up there have got your license on the phone. Is that
No,
not all?
I don't. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
That's if you register with Services New South Wales.
But the question is, how can well, I understand what they're doing, and it's not only just criminal, it's another form of insanity.
That's right. Well,
nothing to do with traffic, and you've lost your license because you don't pay these guys money, which in the first place, as a private corporation, like a business, it's just like I said, McDonald's. If you don't wear the proper an apron into McDonald's to eat, so you don't spill something on the ground, they fine you. I mean, it's nothing different, is it?
But also bearing in mind that these, if COVID wasn't here, these these fines wouldn't apply. So what they've jumped up these charges because of COVID. Because I was at a pre-booked orthodontic appointment for a minor, and they wouldn't let me sit in the rooms with her. So I said I'd sit in the waiting room. They didn't even want me to sit in the waiting room because I wouldn't disclose any medical information to them about me. So I wouldn't tell them I wouldn't show them my letter of my mask exemption letter, and I wouldn't tell them if I had the vaccination or not.
But the amazing thing about it is, see, the police didn't find you trespassing. They were in a traffic jam for 8 weeks, was it?
11 and a half weeks.
11 and a half weeks. Well, it could be seen on reasonable grounds that whoever laid that charge in the police force really shouldn't be in the police force, because there was no offence. You see, it's called an NOD, no offence disclosed, or a GOA, gone on arrival. Anybody who's been in the police understands that. So there was no offence. So I don't see how they could charge anybody in the hereafter. Anyway,
Yes.
Thanks very much for that. That's interesting. I hope that people realize that looking forward to what these private corporations can do. So be very wary when you go into McDonald's and ask for a KFC menu, because you could end up losing your license. London of News sign off. Thanks, guys, up there in Sydney, for talking to us.
Thank you.
And spread the word. Bye for now.
Bye.